What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Grant's Lawn Care on this Friday, April the 4th. As you can see, back with another video and trying to get things in order. I officially have got my Friday route pretty much organized as of today. That's one of the main reasons I ended up taking off from my full-time job, was to get my Friday route organized to fall in that such of a 2-week cycle, if that makes sense. But hope you guys sit back and enjoy this video. The only thing that I'm going to ask of you that I always do is, if you find yourself back to the channel and you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing that today. It'll be a perfect day. And if you like the content to the channel, please give the videos a thumbs up and even share it to some of your other friends or family members or whoever that you may think might like the channel as well. So sit back, enjoy the video, and dive into a few topics that, I've been going back and forth in my mind with, actually talking with another channel about some things. And we just gonna hopefully, get this video going and have you tuned in. So sit back, I'm gonna chime back in here in just a second. So enjoy. So one thing I want to discuss on this episode is how, just what I've been saying about how your experiences and how your product and equipment uses can come into play when it helps another company. I've had several people reach out to me since I've done the videos with, one, my new sprayer, and two, them seeing me use the product RM43 Total Vegetation Control. And they recommended me some of the products that they use, but after I explained to them the reasons why I'm still just going to stick to RM43 and actually showed them evidence of how good it works, now that's something that they're planning to add to their product usage. So, as I've said several times before, YouTube and Instagram and whatever platforms that you have are just basically great free tools of knowledge. I don't mind at all answering questions or sharing, things that I've used on my channel. If I can help somebody else out in the long run, I don't mind doing it a bit. I think that's just really what makes the lawn care community as a whole, pretty great to be a part of. So that's just one thing that comes to mind right away, is how many people have just really reached out when they see the usage of the products that I've used. And I too have reached out and asked about certain products and inquired on things that I didn't hear of. I asked on here and I asked locally, because I do, like I said, work with some other lawn care companies on my full-time job. So everybody piggybacks off of something to keep businesses afloat and, to just make things easier on everyone. debate when it came to pricing recently. And very interesting conversation, and hopefully you take away something from this topic right here on these points that I'm about to make. Pretty much, a phone call was made to someone that I'm close with, that I work with, and they were given an estimate on a property. And the present was pretty much, to boil it down, three of us mow lawns, we do lawn care. The phone call came in for an estimate to one of them, and he gave him a price over the phone. The price was $60 for the property described. After the phone call was complete, the other company was like, hey man, you kind of, why'd you charge that? You should charge $20 more. The price was $60. The other guy was recommending, why didn't you charge $80? And, I just played the listener at that point. I didn't debate. I just listened, and, everybody has to take a view on this. Point of views differ in everyone when it comes to pricing. This is a topic that will always be in lawn care. But where one guy was explaining the reasoning behind his price, and the other guy was explaining the reasoning why his price would be higher, from what I listened and gathered, both have very good points. I mean, I myself personally, I have a set price that I don't come off my truck for, and give or take, that's just, right, wrong, and different. That's just me. And I don't think to the point of where if someone charges less than what you would charge, it's anything wrong with it. But I look at it far as, what is the person who's charging lower? What are their financial goals? Granted, we're all in the lawn care to make some profit. We're not just out here in the hot, sweaty days of summer on lawnmowers and weed and doing whatever else just for money. To a degree, we're out here to make money. A lot run lawn care full time, so that is their main source of income. But like I was saying, all of us have a full-time job, and when it comes to finances, you can set the tone of what your price is. I know right now in my area, I can guarantee you there's a $40 person still around. There's probably even a $30 person still around. Hey, that's fine. That's what they can make it off of and survive off of. That's perfectly fine. But as everyone stated to a degree in their videos on here, you got to set the prices for your goals and aspirations for your business. If you plan on, living a great, life and enjoying things off of being full-time in lawn care, then of course you're going to have to set your prices differently than the person who's like, well, I'm doing this as a side hustle, extra money in my pocket, but I'm not right here trying to break the bank on people. Nothing wrong with that. But sometimes it takes listening to debates or listening to other people's topics to realize that, everybody is different when it comes to lawn care. We do the same things. We try to achieve the same goal, which is make somebody's yard look good. At least that's what I'm hoping everybody's objective is. But, don't critique or criticize, I would say, anybody for what they may charge for a job. You just never know the reasoning. You never know what the market is in their area. That might be a job that they need to land for a certain amount of money just to get whatever they're aiming for. So I think at this point now, when it comes to pricing, I'll share my pricing that I start off with, and that's $65. I started off as the $40 person, but now I'm not coming off my trailer now for no less than starting at $65. So alone, the average yard, well, let me rephrase that, corner lots start at $80. The basic yards start at $65. So let's just say you don't have a corner lot, but you have a yard that has several key factors in my opinion, that, will require an upcharge. A $65 basic yard can end up being an $80 yard because of, let's just, for example, if you have a bunch of fence chain link fence around your yard, and you have a bunch of obstacles in your yard. You know, you got your bird baths, you got all kind of decor in your yard, things that you gotta weed eat around, and something that just makes you have to spend a whole lot more time in the yard. If you have a ditch bank, you know, things that prolong your time on property, you upcharge for that. Time is money. I know a lot of people charge by the hour. I know a lot of people charge by the acre. But long as you feel 100% within your heart what you're charging is valued enough for you, then don't let somebody else knock or try to knock down what you're charging. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a reason for why they price what they price, how they do it. So hopefully you take something away from that. This is a little topic that, you know, I was thinking of. Like I said, just recently heard this debate, and I figured, hey, that's something that could put some encouragement out there to someone, you know. So sit back, keep watching, enjoying the video. Again, consider subscribing to the channel and giving this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. Go off topic, I shouted this guy out once before, and I'm doing it again only because at this point, like I made a comment on one of my previous videos, does great videos, drops the content very frequently, and a couple of the items that he uses in his videos, I made a purchase on last week to get a couple of those items. One of them, well, it's going to be two of them, are going to be of the hats that he wears on his channels. I need another hat. My summer hat is just old. The strap is no good, and it's time for me to update it. So I went on his channel, locked in on two of them, purchased them from his list, and I also purchased a microphone off of the list as well. Just by saying those items, I'm pretty sure he was going to do all about the business. I've got him off of his channel, and if you aren't familiar with his channel, by the time he watches this video, you'll see him in my comments, and or you can search him here in the description. I want to give you a good shout out and appreciate you for sharing those useful items on your page, man. And hopefully, you know, as time goes by, a lot more people not only chime into their channel but others as well. Appreciate you, man. Keep the great work going and the content. We'll catch you on your next one for sure. So something else that's off topic that I've been thinking about pretty hard. I mentioned it a while ago, and a lot of folks said don't do it, but I'm strongly starting to really consider changing the name of my business. And reason being is there's another business in my area with the same exact name that I didn't even know about it until it was time for me to actually go and do my business license renewal. And the reason I'm going to change my name, reason being is two companies name the same thing. And let's just say the other company, I don't know from a hill of cotton, but let's just say the other company, you know, isn't doing too well, and the name is getting a little bit, you know, bashed for maybe poor services or whatever the case may be. I don't want my business to be mistaken for their business, and or vice versa. You know, people may say things about my business that I don't know behind closed doors. And I just to reduce the conflict of interest, that is definitely one of the main reasons why I'm thinking here in the next few weeks of just changing my name of my business. Not the whole thing, but just the last part of it, just to keep down that, you know, conflict of interest, you know, if any may arise. So leave in the comments if you made it this far, you know, what would you do in that situation if another company has your exact same name in your area, would you rechange your company's name? And as I wrap this video up, I just want to piggyback on something, another channel that I watch. I call him my brother from another, from Joe Cutter out there. He made some very good points on his last video as far as, how to do YouTube. That was his tip on his latest video. And everything that he said, I totally agree with, especially when it comes to, like he said, making your presence known on other channels. I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you, just like how he said the bigger channels. I personally know that the bigger channels, they only view certain smaller channels that they seem to see are attracting an audience as well, and they'll slap their name in their comment section to try to draw more attention to their channel as well. And I get it, that's kind of everybody, gist, but my thinking on that is, don't just comment on certain channels that you see that are booming and growing or has a great deal of interactions on the channel. Spread out the love. I mean, I know without a shadow of a doubt that some of these bigger channels have watched my channel. They may have agreed with a lot of what I said. They may have even, enjoyed the content that came along with the topic. But, just do everyone a solid and give a thumbs out. Give a subscribe to that channel as well. Help the next person grow. I'm still in the 500s. I'm hoping to be, well over 600 at least before we even get midway to the season. But it's like, doing YouTube is hard, especially when there's lack thereof support or shout outs or mentions from some of the bigger channels who even piggyback off of some of the ideas and conversations that we little channels have. Everybody's in this thing doing YouTube content and just trying to get their channel to grow. Some people are in it for the sponsorship. Some people are in it because they truly enjoy, just showing and spreading the satisfaction, the oddly satisfying videos of people doing lawn care and sharing tips and tricks of how to do this and stay afloat in this business. So just keep that in mind. Joe Cutter, I appreciate you bringing that up in your last video on how to do YouTube, because it helps me wrap this video up saying, just spread the love, be fair. If you see something on a smaller channel, for you bigger channels that watch, if you see something on a smaller channel that you're watching, it won't hurt at all just to say good job, good job, or good points or good tips or whatever the case may be. What is it going to hurt you? So I'm gonna leave this video at that. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel if you have found yourself again coming back and just haven't done it yet. And leave a thumbs up to the video if you enjoyed the topics. This is Simon from Grant's Lawn Care. I will catch you guys on the next one. Y'all be safe out there. Peace.
Thank you.